What's up, everyone? It's Big Dave, and this one's all about accountability. Was it a big one? Because no one really wants to hear about this because we somehow have lost our ability to be accountable. Let me tell you something. No one's coming for you. They're not. Not that they don't want to. They just can't. There's only one person who ever can impact you. That's you. That's it. The brutal truth is accountability is brutal all by itself. Just simply because we all want to help each other, it's a wonderful thing, and we do. But there's only one person who can change you, and that's you. And let me tell you, if your life is sitting there, and right at this moment you're going, man, I wish I had a different life. The reason you have the life you have is you tolerate it. You put up with it. You want to put up with it. That doesn't mean that necessarily that's where your dream is. But that's your comfort zone right now, and you got to get out of your comfort zone to step up. I'm going to say it again. Your life is the way it is because you tolerate it. Oh, you're not too busy. You're not unlucky. Just crap just doesn't happen to you and no one else. Everybody's got life that happens to them. The difference is, what are you willing to tolerate? What are you willing to tolerate? What are you willing to do about it? And accountability suggests that you own. In fact, it demands that you own you. Other people, can they influence you? Yes, if you let them. Other people, can they influence how you feel and the way you react to something emotionally? Yes, if you let them. I know that sounds awful. People are, what about if you come across something like a car accident and it's awful? Yes. You could either be traumatized by that all day, or maybe you stepped up and helped. And then the little bit of traumatization comes afterward, but then you move on because you know you did the right thing and did all the things you could to try and help people. See, what are you willing to do for you and your accountability? Why do you have to sit there and say other people are the reason things are happening to you? The moment that happens is the moment you start to lose. I'm not even going to argue whether the statement's true or not, because it doesn't matter for accountability. Accountability only matters because you have to be the one who changes you. Other people could be holding you back, but you are letting them. Other people could be doing things to you that are bad, mean, but you are letting that stop you. See, accountability is brutal. Brutal in such a way that no matter what our emotions are, no matter how we're doing in life, if you're not accountable for your own actions, your own thoughts, your own words, in a matter of how you respond and what you do, doesn't mean we have to be perfect, but if you're not accountable for it, it'll continue down in a sinking direction and call that comfort. How that's comfort, I have no idea. How in the world that's comfort, I have no idea. But that's what your brain's going to tell you. And the more you stay in comfort, the worse it's just going to get. If that's what your comfort is negativity. I know it sounds weird and crazy, but this is what happens to most of us. At least from my experience, this is what happens to our brains as we go through these experiences. And somehow, over the last few decades, accountability has been lost, and we want to blame someone else rather than own it ourselves. Yes, that guy's a jackass. So, yeah, she was an absolute bitch to you. So, why do we have to let these things happen? And then not happen, but why do we have to let these things impact us the way they're impacting you down the wrong path? Instead, why couldn't you be accountable for yourself and say that, well, no, I'm not going to let that person win, because if that person was really mean to me and now all of a sudden I feel bad and I'm in a bad mood, they just won. Why would you let them win? They don't deserve the win. They're mean. You deserve the win. Accountability's just been negotiated away within our brains, within our society, all the way through. And today we want to take accountability back. So one of the things that a lot of us do in this is we are like, I want to be more accountable. I want to understand it. So we do the right things, listen to podcasts, read books, and we, listen to people. But what happens is we don't take action, and our mind still isn't being accountable to ourselves. because we want to be in that comfort zone of blaming other. I mean, think about it. If knowledge was enough, you wouldn't be where you are. You wouldn't be saying to yourself, I want to change. I want to do better. Think about that. Accountability isn't knowing it. It's being accountable and follow through with the actions that make you accountable. Other people don't have influence on you unless you let them have influence on you. Really not taught it that way, are we? Here's some quotes maybe that'll help you think about some things. Your results are a reflection of your standards. You're likely not overwhelmed. You're avoided. And how true is that? So many of us, we just put it and go, let's avoid that because that feels uncomfortable. That's not accountability. That's avoidance. You know, your comfort, and I hear this all the time, and through now other people, your comfort is your worst addiction. For me, that's true with food, definitely. But your comfort is your worst addiction because it requires you never to change. And then if you don't change, what happens? Nothing. That's what happens. You know, the crazy thing is excuses feel very logical. When you make an excuse to blame others or blame something else rather than you be accountable for you, they seem very logical. Until you realize this one simple fact, they're optional, man. They're completely optional. Excuses, optional. You choose it. We try to logic our way through to get back into that comfort of doing nothing, which gets us nowhere. I know it's real, but that's what we all do. And here's the thing. You're not stuck. You're just undecided. And it's not awareness. You're just undecided. You haven't decided to take that action. That's where you're at with accountability. And I know you have it. I know it's in there. I know you got it. You know, right now, awareness is locked, is right. Awareness. It's knocking at the door, baby. Awareness is here for you. And awareness is number one. Action is number two. So how do we get to this point? Well, it can be how we're raised. It could be the societal situations we're in. It could be things that happen to us, like maybe we went broke. It could be things like you're exhausted and mentally just like, it could be things like you're frustrated, or that when you do make comments, people just pile on you and your feelings are overwhelming. I mean, things in life. It could be anything that happens that make us unaccountable. And then we want to logically make excuses for ourselves. What is something I saw that was on the Olympics? If you try, you can't fail. What the shit is that? What? 100% if you try, you can fail. Failure is nothing to be afraid of because it eliminates a step to get you closer to your goal. Failure is something we all have to get used to. Trying. If you try, you can't fail. What is that? We all want to fail because it means we're moving forwards. Failure is only permanent when you give up forever. That's it. Yes, bad things will happen. Okay. Yes, it's gonna. Okay, whatever. Failure, we need to bring back as an accepting part of life. We failed at this moment, but we didn't give up. And what's next? I'm going to get it again. I'm going to go back and I'm going to give it everything again. I'm not going to try. I'm going to give it everything again and do it. So here's some things that awareness can help you with, like how you become aware, is your mind's going to want to say things like, why does this happen to me? Oh, why does this happen to me? And when you're saying that to yourself, you need to change that to, why am I allowing this to happen to me? Good one. So ask yourself when that happens, ask yourself, what are you tolerating? What are you avoiding? What are you postponing? What habit are you protecting that's keeping you this way? A magical thing happens when you finally realize that your life starts to improve when your excuses expire. Your life starts to improve when you no longer use the excuses to stop yourself. So remember, excuses and accountability are on the opposite sides. Over here, we have the excuses of comfort. Oh, this is just what happened. And we make a logical thing in our brain to say this is why things are going this way. And it's just going to be this way. Over here's accountability going, why am I allowing this? What are the things I can do to improve it? And how can I make it better so that when something like this happens again, it happens in a way that I am better prepared. It happens in a way that we can avoid it. It happens in a way that now I can achieve my goal. Little things like I said I would do it, so I'm doing it. And I did. That's accountability. Little things like no one would know better if I didn't show up and do it, but I did. Today is a day I don't feel like working out, but I did anyway because I said I'm doing it 3 times a week. Accountable. Those things are powerful and holding your brain to a new level to get out of the comfort zone. So let me ask yourself, what are some things that you keep saying to yourself? Maybe some of these might relate. What do you keep saying that you're going to do, but you haven't done yet? What excuses do you repeat year and year and year and year again? What are they? You know, if you think about it. What would you change if you had to get rid of excuses and just achieve? Being accountable not only helps you hit your goals, but to change your perspective, because the world is no longer now just crushing you because you're independent of it. Yeah, of course it has impact on you. Yes, I understand all that. But you now have the ability to control what you're going to do with it, because you can learn that what you tolerate within your own mind and what you want. I want to be clear on this. Before I be clear on this, I want to make this clear. Yes, people are out there to support you. Yes, people are out there to learn from. Yes, that groups are important for support. I believe in all those things. But no one's coming to save you other than you. Because if you don't decide to do something, no one can do it for you. And that's a fact, Jack. No one's coming to motivate you. Only you can motivate yourself. I don't even know if motivation is enough. So maybe you just got to force yourself to do it for about a month or 2. No one's coming to hold you accountable. And even if they did, all they can do is tell you that you're not doing it. But guess who's in charge of doing it? You are. Now that might sound all scary and like, oh my God, that's awful. But it's great news. Because once you get that, it's freedom. It's freedom because you are independent. Maybe not always, but most of the time, of others and how they impact you. Because you now have learned to know what you will tolerate within your brain, how you choose to react to something, which is a game changer for every single person listening. Remember, this is all about ownership. You owning you. Right? So it's what do you need to do differently now? What are you allowing and tolerating in your life? What are the things that you've always just waited on doing or waited on achieving? It could be something as reading a book all the way through. It could be something as simple as making a bed to learn to be accountable. It could be something as learning a new art, maybe learn how to play an instrument that you said you would do. Learn to be accountable to yourself and you can start small because I'm big on that and the growing into bigger. But start. What can you start today? Ask yourself that. When you become accountable, it changes everything because only you can control how you want to react. Because triggers, you allow them to trigger you. I know this is going to sound a little harsh, but I'm going to end this way. If it mattered, if something really mattered to you, you'd protect it. So when you're trying to change something, make sure it matters. And that comes down to why. Why is it so important? And only you can define that why, which can then help you with the motivation in order to get started and do it and learn to be accountable. Because being accountable in life is understanding that how you react to things, what you do with things, is 100% in your control. When you allow people to influence you, you allowed that. I know it's hard to believe, but you did. Accountability has been lost. Let us gain it back. Let us now gain accountability back into our lives. Let's bring respect back with it. And let's do things that we now hold our own selves accountable for. All right, that's all I have for y'all. Thank you all very much. And I hope to talk to y'all again real soon. See ya. Bye.